Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to participate in this virtual meeting and to tell you a little bit about Aromatic Plant Research Center and what we do. My name is Aaron Sorensen. I'm the owner and CEO of Aromatic Plant Research Center, often just called APRC. Now, APRC focuses on research and testing of aromatic plants and the essential oils and extracts produced from these amazing plants. Today I want to take the majority of the time I've been given to talk about essential oil quality and purity, what we at APRC do to help ensure our clients are providing their customers with the best Mother Nature has to offer, and our close partnership with doTERRA. Now, I do want to take just a moment to introduce some of the wonderful people that I have the pleasure to work with at APRC. I don't have all the time I would need to take to talk about each of these amazing people, but I do want you to know we have a diverse, passionate team from all over the world with global experience. We have chemists, engineers, biologists, environmental scientists, professors, and more that have more than 100 years of combined experience specifically in studying aromatic plants. On top of their education and experience, they are all exceptional people, and we really do care about what we do. Now, at APRC, we have 4 primary pillars or objectives that encompass everything that we do and that all of our goals are focused around. First, our unique analytical techniques are concentrated on the natural compounds produced by the hundreds of aromatic plants that we study. But we also do research on thousands of synthetic compounds that are produced by chemical companies that mimic those compounds produced in nature. Understanding what compounds plants naturally produce and how they produce them gives a big advantage in being able to test and tell if an essential oil is truly pure or if it has been manipulated in any way. Now, our unparalleled research on detecting adulteration in essential oils is one of the primary ways APRC is unique among third-party testing laboratories. Next, our passion for plants and healthy environmental practices leads to sustainability and research of these precious commodities, and this is intrinsic to the research APRC does. APRC has the opportunity to gather data, samples, look at the history, and additional research on many, many different types of aromatic plants from around the world to provide our clients and the scientific community with reliable information on the long-term health of these plants. Third, with all of our testing, which involves thousands of samples each year, and the data gathered during sustainability efforts, we want to share what we have learned with the academic community and also with people that are genuinely interested in aromatic plants. We do this through publications of peer-reviewed scientific papers and collaboration with many different labs and universities globally. To date, we have over 700 publications as a team, and we continue to expand that number as our research goes on. APRC has a unique team well-suited and experienced in publications so that what we learn can be utilized by others for the benefit of everyone. Finally, the final pillar, with half of the executive board at APRC being professors at one point in their life, and education and teaching is a natural component of what APRC does. We love aromatic plants and the essential oils, and it's a pleasure for us to be able to share what we have learned with anyone who is interested in this fascinating world. I would encourage everyone to look up our YouTube and Facebook pages as our posts are focused on education and continued learning. Now, let's talk about something that I would bet is very important to everyone listening, and that I know from my experience in working with doTERRA doTERRA is very concerned with. I'm referring to adulteration in essential oils. Now, when we talk about the quality of essential oils, it is helpful to understand how essential oils are adulterated, and unfortunately, how commonly they are adulterated in this day and age. So I define the adulteration of essential oils as the intentional addition to an oil to enhance its aroma, extend the amount, and even create an oil altogether. Now, these adulterations happen because there is a significant amount of money that can be made through the many, many different ways essential oils are adulterated. Adulteration can be as simple as adding a cheap pressed oil like a castor oil to extend a rare oil, to very sophisticated chemists adding natural compounds in just the right amounts and in just the right ratios to make it very challenging, if not nearly impossible, to detect what they have done to adulterate these oils. Now, in our experience, around 80% of all essential oils on the market have been adulterated in some fashion. I intimately know a lot of these techniques because I've spent many years in the industry and I've been involved with these means of adulteration. The dishonesty involved with these common practices in the essential oil industry is one of the major reasons that Dr. Satya and I started APRC, so we could help inform people what is happening and provide our clients, like doTERRA, with the latest means in detecting and then, of course, in avoiding adulteration. Now, let's talk about some of the research and adulteration detection techniques that APRC has done using a couple specific examples. I've had the good fortune to visit Australia and New Zealand, which is where the examples are going to come from, but also I've visited many other places throughout the world to do research on a vast variety of aromatic plants. Attached are some pictures of one of the finest tea tree farms in Australia. Australian tea tree is considered to be the best tea tree essential oil in the world, which means it is often mixed with inferior oils, and adulterated in a lot of different ways. One of the ways we at APRC help to ensure the purity of essential oils is to study the farms where they are grown, understand the propagation, planting, care, harvesting, distillation, and so forth of the plant. In this way, we can know what should and should not be in the resulting oil from the plant, even down to the most minute compounds. There are many strains of various species of essential oils, and a great deal of science has gone into propagating the most resilient, high-yielding, and best quality profile of an essential oil, like these flats of tea tree seedlings in the top left corner. Now, when the tea tree grows to be about 5 feet tall, you can see me in this picture on the top right. It is commonly collected using the latest and most sophisticated tools and harvesting equipment and placed directly into a mobile still in the field, as you can see in the bottom left corner here. That way, the still can be moved and placed into a large-scale distillation setup like that found in the bottom right picture. Now, this is a highly efficient and effective means of producing a superior quality essential oil on a very large scale. Now, knowing all these intimate details of how each oil is produced, in this case Australian tea tree essential oil, gives a good base for being able to test subsequent production and each batch and ensure nothing has been added to the resulting oil. There are additional steps that are taken to ensure the purity of the essential oil, including getting samples of raw materials from the farm, like these tea tree leaves that we collected from this farm in question. We gather the samples like this, and we put them in our lab scale distillation and test the resulting oil. And again, we're looking for the chemical profile to ensure that it is pure. Now, the picture on the left is one of our lab scale distillations, as I mentioned, and this is where we test and distill many different types of plants to be able to then do multiple tests along with multiple types of tests, which are reviewed by experienced chemists, and which is the best way to ensure the purity in essential oils. APRC goes through at least 2 rounds of testing of every lot of essential oil doTERRA ends up purchasing. Now, this is just one of the many steps doTERRA takes to ensure purity in essential oils. Now, on the other end of the production scale, as far as sophistication is concerned, is the production of New Zealand Douglas fir essential oil. Now, honestly, this is one of my personal favorite essential oils, and I really enjoyed this research as I was able to be in the mountains around Queenstown, New Zealand, which is one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken on the left here in these mountains near Queenstown. As we research the production and ways of ensuring the purity of this essential oil, we learn a great deal about how to keep it pure too. Douglas fir is actually an invasive species in New Zealand, so the removal of the trees is helping the native New Zealand species propagate, but also providing jobs for local people and also produce the beautiful essential oil from the harvested trees. Now, in contrast to the tea tree oil, Douglas fir is produced on a relatively small scale and is far more labor intensive to collect. The picture of the still on the right here is a unique design that is mobile to be able to accommodate the need to harvest in various locations. It can be moved wherever the harvest needs to happen and distilled where the harvest happens. APRC has been able to test many different Douglas fir samples for our general research and for educational purposes. But of course, this is also very helpful in being able to detect if anything has been added to the Douglas fir essential oils. Now, analytical testing of essential oils, like the GCMS report in the previous slide, is a powerful tool that can be useful in showing if any oil is pure or not. We did recently test some products from a company in New Zealand and found clear signs of adulteration. Unfortunately, this is all too common, and our goal is to continue to provide the best in analytical testing. Now, speaking of analytical testing, when it comes to the testing of essential oils, there has been a lot of scientific progress, and our ability to detect additions to oils has never been better. On the other hand, the ability of those to hide adulteration and make a boosted profit has never been more sophisticated. To be able to ensure that we are doing all we can to look for any addition to an oil, many different types of tests are done. Here's a list of some of the different tests APRC routinely does to ensure essential oils are pure. Now, some of these tests are more informative than others, but they all do provide a piece of the puzzle, a clue, if you will, into the story of the essential oil. I want to take just a moment and focus on two of them and to give you a little more detail about what it is that we do and how we tell when an oil is pure. The first is GCMS, gas chromatography mass spectrometry, which I would guess many of you are familiar with or have at least heard of. GCMS is ideal for testing essential oils, as this means of testing looks at the volatile, meaning the compounds that easily go into a gas phase of a sample, and essential oils are made of volatile components. So a sensitive detector on GCMS can, in theory, see every volatile compound in that sample, even the most minute compound. This is very helpful in being able to see if there is anything in the oil that should not be there. Now again, knowing what to look for is a completely different story and takes many years to understand. But I don't have time to get into all that. But know that the team at APRC has spent decades studying and researching this story of adulteration and improving our ability to detect adulteration. The other test that I wanted to briefly mention is liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, or LCMS. It's similar to GCMS in the manner the test is performed, but instead of examining just the volatile components, the sample stays in a liquid state, which allows for heavier, more bulky compounds to be identified, compounds like pesticides. Now, we keep a close eye on pesticide levels on all of the samples that we test using means like LCMS, and can tell when unfounded reports come out because we look at every lot and keep a history of the results. Now, I do appreciate that with doTERRA's popularity, they are often a target for competitors. At APRC, we use solid science and the latest in analytical techniques, and this plays a big part in ensuring that the truth is what prevails with any questions that arise. Now, in my years as researching and testing aromatic plants and essential oils have taught me that multiple layers of testing and research, education, relationships are needed to ensure the highest quality essential oils. When it comes to testing, the more diverse array of tests done gives more information, more pieces of the puzzle, if you will. And the more pieces you add to the puzzle, the bigger picture comes to light, and being able to tell if an oil is really pure or if it's been played with in any way. The more tests you do, the more information you can glean, and the more you can see the bigger picture. Understanding and seeing the full story and history of an essential oil can be a difficult task, but working with the right partners, taking all the difficult steps in sourcing, including testing, is the best way to provide the purest, highest quality essential oils like those sold by doTERRA. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you, and I look forward to the time in the near future when we can all be together in person. I'd like to also invite you to connect with APRC and continue to learn with us about the amazing aromatic plants and essential oils they produce. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the blog on our website, and look for other upcoming webinars. Our website is aromaticplant.org. Thank you and take care.